Matt, I really enjoyed the column that you did with Bruce Feldman on the kind of rising and falling coaches, or the potential for that. How did you start out, like, trying to get a temperature on that? Because no matter, sometimes, you can talk to other coaches, you can talk to people in the know, but depending on who you talk to, it's hard to get a really accurate reading of the actual temperature of someone's job.
Yeah, definitely. I think, these are year-long daily conversations that Bruce, myself, and others in this business are having with people throughout, whether it's coaches, administrators, agents, search firms, you name it. And just so that you're always, plugged in, for lack of a better term. So you always have your finger on the pulse, and you have a sense for which way the wind's blowing, what one coach may need to do to top his profile a little bit and maybe get a better job, what another coach may need to do to save his job going into what's a potentially critical year. So, every situation is, as we all know, anyone who's covered the sport knows, is ridiculously unique, right? I mean, you see some coaches get fired and you scratch your head and wonder, what does that school think they're going to get out of their football program? And you see others who keep their jobs despite losing seasons after losing seasons, or get extended after not so great seasons. That makes you scratch your head in another manner as well. So you just try to keep this as an ongoing conversation. And when push comes to shove, whether that's when changes are being made, or in our case when we're writing about what changes could possibly come a few months from now, you want to have as complete a picture and most accurate information as possible.
A couple of the jobs you mentioned in the Big 12 in this article on The Athletic, Iowa State, is this as much of a head-scratcher, Matt Campbell still being in Ames after all this time? Yeah, right.
I mean, when you look at how crazy last year was in terms of the number of coaching changes, and you look at just how highly valued and spoken of Matt Campbell is, even after last year, which wasn't the best year for Iowa State on the field by any stretch of the imagination, it's crazy to think that he's still there. And outside of USC, it, to my knowledge, did not get any serious run at another place. And part of that is him, too. And by that, I mean, look, I don't think the guy's looking to get out of Ames. I think he's built a foundation there that he's very proud of and hopes to continue to grow. And I don't think he's a guy who would just take any other job for the sake of a bigger paycheck or a bigger profile. I think he's very strategic and deliberate in how he goes about his business. That being said, yeah, pretty much every shape or type of program had an opening last year, right? Big, small, blue blood, not blue blood, private, public, you name it. And outside of USC, none of them got all that far down the road with him, from my understanding. So it is surprising, but hey, those other schools have lost as Iowa State fans have gained, because they got another year with one of the best coaches in the sport.
You also mentioned West Virginia, and we have a lot of West Virginia fans that watch and listen to our show, Matt, and they, I would say they have varying levels of opinion on Neil Brown, but I don't think that that's true. I think that this is very much a put up or shut up year for him, and obviously with the new offensive coordinator and Graham Harrell and JT Daniels and all that, like he realizes this, and the Big 12 is probably unpredictable. How do you see Neil Brown putting the angst to rest?
Yeah, I think he needs a strong season. And by that, I mean what you said. I mean, there's a sense of unease among that fan base right now, amongst people in Morgantown. It hasn't been bad, just hasn't been good. It's been kind of meh, right? And I know things get exacerbated in 2022 with the transfer portal, because more players around the country are leaving their schools than ever before. But I think the combination of the exodus there, the combination of some of the losses, I think the profile he came in with, having such a strong performance at Troy, going 31-8 over his final 3 years, winning at LSU a couple of years ago. I think this was thought of in real time as a home run hire. I know I thought of it that way. I thought this was the perfect guy for the perfect job. And again, it hasn't gone poorly. It just hasn't gone great. And we've seen coaches get fired for less, so to speak. So I definitely think this is a put up or shut up year for him in that regard. I do think, for better or for worse, that opener against Pitt, who I'm still not sure how good or bad they'll be, especially now with Jordan Addison out of the picture. I just think with the renewal of a rivalry on that Thursday night of opening weekend, it's such a strong opportunity to make a big first impression on 2022, both good or bad.
We got some scheduling announcements.